Good morning, all of you. In today's class, we'll discuss about the numericals related to hydrogen spectrum or hydrogen atom and a few collisions that one. This. So different types of numericals will focus on this. Tomorrow, I'll start the X-rays. It's a very small topic. That one. Then again, we'll continue further with the atomic physics here. So today, let me focus on the other different set of numericals related to hydrogen atom. Okay, read the question. No? So we have what is the energy of hydrogen atom in the first excited state if the potential is taken to be zero in the ground state? Can we do S? So you say synthetic structures, what we say, no, synthetic substance, what we say nowadays. Okay, slight modifications will be done. That's possible. So now what we have is only hydrogen, deuterium, tritium. If you can recollect, we have hydrogen, tritium. Now till H7 we are able to generate in the lab, but the lifespan of this is very, very small. For 10 to the power of minus 12 seconds, this will exist and it will vanish, it will decay. So these are called like a synthetic atoms. We are able to generate in the lab that one till H7. I don't know in chemistry whether you come across this called like that one. So what is the basic core idea for that synthetic to generate synthetic atoms? The Bohr's atomic model again. Say why though Bohr's atomic model, what are the postulates? The electron revolve in circular orbit. In practice, do electrons revolve in circular orbit? No. But sir, why we are following? It's a very basic fundamental is what this is. Of course, slight modifications are done, but the nucleus at center, like a quantized, then the electron revolving is not a particle, will behave like a wave. These are the very central theme of quantum mechanics. So what Bohr predicted, no, the postulates, everything, slight modification, but the core idea is same. Fine. So this is now we'll focus on some questions like this here, or some hypothetical. You can also put. First, if you go for the hydrogen spectrum, so let's have the basic idea of hydrogen spectrum. What is energy here? Minus 13.6 electron volt. This should be minus 3.4. I'll come to the question. First, let me E4 will be minus 0.85. (0.54). So this is energy level 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. This is a ground state. What about the potential energy here? And what will be similarly kinetic energy in each state? So when you make energy in the ground state, potential energy is 0, then what will happen to the other forms of energy is what we are trying to discuss here. Now, what was the basic derivation? That I think the way we derived this, the equation was of like this, no? K equal to mod of E equal to mod of U by 2. K should be equal to mod of E is that one. So mod of E. So this should be plus 13.6 electron volt. What about this? Minus 27. K2 should be equal to mod of E. So this will be 3.4. This will be minus of 6.8. Similarly, this will be 1.51. This will be minus of 3.02. These are the energies here. Now what we are doing, we are going to modify this. And the new atomic structure is what we are the new modified. So modified what means the potential G should be zero. There should be the zero. So how to make this zero? By adding energy. How much of energy I should add? 27.2 electron volt. So that energy in the ground state will become zero. Then how much E1 will become? Plus 13.6 electron volt. What about the kinetic energy? Same. Let's come for this. E2, U2, K2. This will not change. When you had 27.2 electron volt, the potential will be altered everywhere. Will be altered everywhere. So how much it will become now? 20 point. Sir, what actually you're doing? You can ask very much that question. I should add energy of 27.2 electron volt for each state. Then when I add up that, then this will become 23.8 electron volt. When you add 27.2 minus 3.4, how much you'll get? 27.2. Then how to calculate this potential energy? What is the basic formula? E2 should be equal to U2 plus K2. We know E2 and we know K2. I'll write it here. So when you add up that energy to each state, so we will get this one. So this will be now, we know energy to 23.8 electron and kinetic energy remains same. We are not going to disturb the kinetic energy of electrons. So now calculate this one. Oh. I'll get back the screen. Let me construct the diagram. Yeah. This is E1. E2, this will be 3.4. I think it got erased. Let me put it again. This will be E3. Till E4 I'll write it. Minus 0.85 electron volt. This is n equal to 1, n equal to 2, n equal to 3, n equal to 4. And what is the basic central core idea? The kinetic energy is equal to mod of E mod of U by 2. It's what in this atomic structure. So therefore this U1 should be equal to 20 minus 6.8. U3 is equal to K3 will be 1.51 electron volt. So this will be minus of, no, I'm going to modify this atomic structure. so that the potential G in the ground state should become 0. So to make that potential G in the ground state to be 0, so definitely what will happen, I am going to add energy of what? 27.2 electron volt to each state. So first you calculate when you add that much of energy, 27.2 electron volt, this will become plus 13.6 electron volt. Kinetic energy as it is, this will become 0. When you added 27.2 electron, to make potential G 0, you have to add up that much of energy. The question is given, you should make the potential G to be 0. Then when you add 27.2 to the minus 3.4 here, so how much will be left over? 23.8 electron volt. Then how much kinetic energy? Kinetic energy will be as it is. You calculate U2 now. So how to calculate U2? E2 is equal to U2 plus K2. So this will become 20.4 electron volt. Similarly, K3 will be how much? 1.51 electron volt. So you add 27 minus anybody value? So here what is the basic idea? 27.2 electron volt must be added to each state. Kinetic energy, the kinetic energy of the revolving particle will not change. So you subtract, no, 27 minus 2 minus 1.5, you'll get that one. Then again use this formula, E3 equal to U3 plus K3. In such an atom, if electron makes a transition from second excited state to ground state, find the wavelength of photon. I think you can work out the similar what we discussed earlier. How 47 will come? 27 minus 27.2.
24.18.
24.18. Subtract again with this, we'll get the U3.
Sir, U3 is 24.18. E3 is not 24.1.
Okay, then I'll make changes. Huh? Then this one, E3 value.
25.7.
Okay, there's a modified hydrogen atom. This is a hydrogen atom. So in this modified hydrogen atom, if the electron makes a transition from the third or so like a third excited state to the ground state, what will be the wavelength of photon? So can be asked, so be careful. Huh? So something they can drag you to till there. That was the question of why we should add, means that what I should say, the potential G should be made 0 in the ground state. So I should add energy 27.2. Sir, I want to make potential G 0 in the first excited state. Then you add 6.8 to each state. So in which state you want to add, you want to make potential G 0, that much of energy should be added. This is a method. Got it? Okay, no, it's a hypothetical atom. Where the potential G between electron and proton are given by alpha log r minus alpha by 2, where r is the separation between them. Calculate the radius and energy of nth Bohr orbit. You can apply the Bohr's postulates where all required. So we have this potential interaction potential G. So if I differentiate this, alpha by r, and alpha is a constant, so therefore this will be 0. And we know F equal to minus du by dr. So let me write here. So this will be F equal to minus du by dr. So this particular force will provide required centripetal force. So I think I should not show, but still to make you understand, I'll just give some basic diagram in which potential energy between electron and proton. Okay, it is going to make a atomic structure like this, electron and proton. Then F equal to minus du by dr. So what is F? This will provide required centripetal force. So this should be equal to minus of alpha or just make it this one, alpha by r. So look at now v is equal to alpha by m. So this is the speed of particle. Look at the speed of particle, constant. No, this is the one hypothetical atom is suggesting. Sir, how do you are making? Let's not bother. Let's not try to practically analyze this. How do they construct such an atomic structure? It's hypothetical is saying. I think this is like this. You may get n hypothetical hydrogen atoms. No, we got V. After getting V, both postulates what it says. MVR equal to NH by 2 pi. We know V. We know V. V is alpha by M, R equal to NH by 2 pi. So what is the radius? This one will be NH 2 pi M or M alpha. There's an expression for radius of the nth boron orbit. Now he's asking what about the energy? Already we know potential, only we have to calculate the kinetic energy. So the total energy will be U plus K. This is equal to alpha log R minus alpha by 2 plus the kinetic energy is given by mv square by 2. Substitute this R minus alpha by 2 m by 2. V square is what? Alpha by m. So how much we are getting? This is equal to alpha log R. And what is R? R is this one. Now this hypothetical. You might have seen, no? If you look at the Western movies, no, you get plenty of alien movies, no? Why they are bringing so many alien movies? Because of Bohr's atomic model. And you see some, I think, the Infinity Galaxy or something, I don't know, some movie has come. There, you look at the different characteristics. One fireman, one what happened, Iceman, Superman, like that. We do have Infinity War. Infinity War. You look at in the characters here. The different persons, what happened, they're having different composition. Maybe what the Bohr's atomic model, from Bohr's atomic model, hypothetic atomic model, what they're suggesting that maybe in our planet, okay, we do have the matter in the form of atomic structure, what we know. Some other planet or some other solar system or some other universe or in some other galaxies, maybe where what happened, there's the matter maybe in made up of atomic structure of this kind, maybe made up of atomic structure of some kind, some n types of possibilities there. So this particular idea is what happened they are exhibiting in the movies. In the movies you see like why they are showing like that. As what happened, some fireman. So nothing will happen to it. So how it is possible? As we know, magnetic field. So you can magnetic field exist at high temperature S? So if the person is, if the atomic structure made up of magnetic field, and the electron can also exist, a revolving electron in a magnetic field will become atomic structure. And if a matter made up of such atomic structure, what happen? It is totally what happen? Safe from the fire. Any temperatures cannot do anything. And if a matter made up of such atomic structure and the person made up of such a atomic structure, then fine, nothing will happen to him even at high temperature. Like that, what happened? They have constructed the characters based on this hypothetical hydrogen atom. Different types of there that you can see that particular thing. Different persons with different one, like that. So what the scientists are telling is that one, there are possibilities there. That's why do they go for Mars? Why they are going for Jupiter like that? Only to go and collect there the sand, the stones, and they want to check what is the atomic structure. And luckily, what we got is like the same atomic structure what we have on the planet Earth, on the moon was there, and also on the planet. Now they're thinking maybe outside solar system, different atomic structure as possibilities there. And this was the nature's law. Atomic structure means need not be like this only. Atomic structure can be anything. Sir, what is this you are saying? Yes, what we know only one thing. What is that? Electrons revolve in elliptical orbit about a nucleus where the nucleus contains proton, neutron. But they can be. So they're planning to reach the crust at the core of the Earth. Maybe some other form of atomic structure is there. They searched moon. Okay, finally nothing happened. Same thing. They searched planet Mars. That one. From there they brought it. No. So like this what the science is trying to explore. And all these ideas are fundamentals are in Bohr. You see, Bohr's atomic model is something you can say fundamental. That's why in physics we are giving highest priority for this, because that is what will give us exact reflection. On Saturday, don't miss class. Some 20 minutes, I'll talk something which you feel shock. You might have never heard the Bohr's atomic model. What happened? I'll conclude that one. A very beautiful form. Bohr's atomic model, matter waves, de Broglie matter waves, Bohr's atomic model. We are going to mix both. And totally the perception of you of life will change, at least after listening that 20 minutes. That one, of course, it's not a part of syllabus, but that is what we are supposed to conclude. Saturday don't miss, because if I tell today again, you start thinking only on that, you will not work out numericals. So let me put on Saturday. Don't miss that Saturday's class. All of you compulsory you have to attend. The perception of life will change. Means what we are thinking about universe, this earth, our life, everything, no, that everything what happen now, a new dimension will come. Total metaphysics, you can say. Higher metaphysics is what are hidden here. The more and more you analyze in the Bohr's atomic model, the more and more the creation, regarding creation is what it is reflecting. So this is about the energy. So I'll introduce one more. So here only let me finish off. If it is a you can say this is the most beautiful part of physics, the nuclear physics and atomic physics. No, in the entire physics, what we learned, no, the best concepts where students will enjoy, where students are made to imagine what coming. Of course, JEE advanced preparation will not permit, but the concepts are of that kind. So let me introduce another thing, another atomic structure. This is also atomic structure. What is atomic structure? Made up of magnetic field, and electron revolves in it. B bar. I'll project with a okay. There's a electron. No, I'll project here like this. B bar velocity. Oh, no, this electron now is going to revolve in a circular path. What is the radius of orbit? I'll say this is atomic structure. Sir, where is the nucleus? Need not a necessary. Not a necessary. Then what is the interaction? So whatever the energy, that one. So let's Bohr's postulates will apply it. First Bohr's postulate, what it says. Okay, let's get into that one. I'll say it's atomic structure. Atom. Atom made up of what? Atom. Atom made up of magnetic field and
Vanilla. Katra.
Ho ho
Pridhvi,
ho ho.
Kamal.
No. Okay. I say this atom. You should not laugh, huh? But as possibility is there. So where can you show? Give me proof. Maybe we have to go out of our galaxy. We have to search. In maybe not now. Maybe our future generation may come up with this atomic structure. They may construct. Now present what happened? We are able to generate magnetic field, and we are making electron to revolve in magnetic field. Are we able to do? 1,000 years back we are unable to do. Now we are able to do. Maybe in future such like a building blocks, such a things. I'll make a building block. I'll construct atom. From atom, I'll construct a molecule. From molecule, I'll construct a lattice structure, crystal. From crystal, I'll construct a substance. From substance, I'll construct other thing. If you look at the spiritual books, no, there that is what they're proposing. Like that, the different worlds there, the atomic structure will be different. I think it's beyond our science. Let's not focus here because science says proof, practical thing. So the different spiritual worlds, what happen, are made up of different atomic structures. The spiritual sciences, when you refer the different the Upanishads or the Bible, Quran, no, that's what they're telling. In the different worlds, different places in the universe, what happen, there will be different worlds where the people made up of different composition are existing. That's why they have different energies. That's what they're telling. I think we do have many movies, everything, all. Any proof for that? I'll give. There's a proof. All that spiritual things, what all they know, there's a proof. Okay, how come atomic structure? We need that particular thing. So let's do one thing. What is the expression? Will provide required centripetal force, F normal, or only let me write F. So what is F is equal to? F equal to QVB. This will provide required centripetal force. So therefore this R should be equal now mv by qb. Then apply Bohr's postulates. Let me replace V. So this V will become QBR by M, and this is R. R square equal to NH by 2 pi QB. There is a radius of nth Bohr orbit in this atomic structure. Now, what about the energy, sir? From where energy will come? Let's see. This revolving electron. So if a electron flows like this, current I will flow here. And this current I flowing, it will have magnetic moment. So what is the dipole moment? I'll write MB here because capital M, again, you may get confused with the mass. Let me write MB. This should be equal to I into pi r square. What is I? Charge of electron by time period. And what is in fact time period? 2 pi r by V. Or shall we write BQ by M because we know some many things. Uh, 2 pi BQ by M. There's a dipole moment, I'm bringing it. So this should be equal to E M 2 pi QB pi r square is what? NH 2 pi by omega. I think some calculations here. So what is the dipole moment of this? Pi get cancels, so this should be E N H by 4. What is the interaction potential G? Minus MB dot B bar minus MB. What is the angle between dipole moment and magnetic field? 180 degrees, cos of 180 degrees. So therefore this will be dipole moment ENH by 4 into B. Okay, there's the interaction potential energy. Check once calculation. I think I'm 4 pi m. Okay, this one 4 pi m. This is about the interaction potential. What is the total energy of system? U plus K. So E H B N 4 pi m m by 2. What is the expression for V? I think we should bring expression for kinetic energy. Let me solve it. mv squared by 2. Before that, we need expression for V, no? We'll derive expression for V. What is R? NH by 2 pi QB. Let me write in this equation equal to m QB into V. So V should be equal to NH QB m will come outside. This mv square, so 1 by m 4 pi m. This should be equal to NH E is Q, no? Oh, wait, some. I had to cancel E also. NH by, let me, E and Q symbols, there's a problem with it. Let me work out from the beginning. Q and E, no? Let me take Q only. So Q, I think here it has changed here. Q 2 pi QB QNH. Okay, no. This will be 2 pi QB MV by QB. So V equal to NH QB by 2 pi. So this is here Q, this is Q. So NH QB by 4 pi M. And this is the energy. QHBM by, look at that energy, En proportional to N. If a matter made up of such a thing, I think it is a thermal resistance, no? It is whatever the temperature, magnetic field can exist. Even at higher temperatures, magnetic field can exist. So if a person made up of such a atom, I think it can withstand any temperature, no? And that is what that in movie they have projected here, Infinity War. There's a science behind it. So there's also atomic structure. I'm telling this one. Please do accept it. There's also atomic structure. So like that, what happens? So you can propose n hypothetical atomic structures. And provided what happens, they should obey the Bohr's postulate. That's what the condition they're putting. Fine, I'll close this. So like this, you may get any equations or any new atomic proposal in exam. So you don't get carried away by anything. On one side, relation between V and R is given by Bohr's postulate. And here what happens? Either radius or the velocity you are going to find out from the given information. Then from Bohr's postulate, you'll get the other quantities. Then you go for the interaction potential, the other things here. Now the electron will interact with the magnetic field, and that is what the interaction potential here. These are very important hypothetical atomic structures which will obey the Bohr's postulate. Can be asked for you. Let's go back to again Bohr's atomic model. So we just focused only on other things. So now he's asking what is the time period, all other quantities. What about the time period of the atom revolving? Because we just focused only on radius, velocity, even other quantities can also be asked. What are all other quantities? Time period of electron orbiting in nth orbit. How to bring the time period? One side we know radius, we know velocity. So what is the basic formula? Time period 2 pi r time period of electrons in the orbit. So I'll start with the time period. Time period is given by 2 pi rn by vn. Two pi r by v. Okay, now substitute Rn and Vn, you'll get the time period. I'll directly write formula. You do later on the substitution. 4 epsilon naught these are very important because somewhere in the numericals, this data will be going to help us a lot. N cube H cube by m z square e to power 4. This is a time period of fluctuation, and time period of proportional is proportional to n cube and inversely proportional to z square. I think remaining all are constant. So you do remember this data. Angular velocity. I think angular velocity is like a 2 pi by capital T. So from here on you can manage it. So since we know omega equal to 1 by T. So from that what happen? Omega will be proportional to this one and proportional to Z square. What is it? Charge of the nucleus. After this, equivalent current for electron orbiting in nth orbit. Why do the current will come? Just now I told like revolving electron, it will constitute the current here. So what is the expression for current? I is equal to charge of electron by time period. We know time period. Just try to put that time period value here, 4 epsilon naught n cube h cube m z square e to power of 4. So this will become mz square e to power of 5 4. This is something very important. Current proportional to z square and inversely proportional to, you may end up any matchings. In the matchings, they may ask you like this. They'll give speed, radius, time period, current, frequency, and other side, how they relate to proportionality, they'll ask you. Can be asked in advance, matching. You have to be careful. This revolving electron, what happen will constitute current. Rate of flow of charge should be current. And this current flowing what happen will produce a magnetic field at the center of the atom. Magnetic field at the center of atom due to the electron orbiting in nth Bohr orbit. What is the expression for magnetic field? B equal to mu naught I by 2Rn. We know expression for current. N cube H cube. This one. What is the expression for radius of the nth Bohr orbit? Epsilon naught n square h square pi m z e square. Solving this, I'll end up with mu naught pi z cube m square e to power of 7 f naught cube n to power of 5 h to power of 5. So what is the magnetic field produced at center? Proportional to z cube, inversely proportional to n to power of 5. I think this data better remember. In exams you don't get a time to really work out all this much here, even in advance. If you memorize this, remember, you'll be on safer side. So such a thing can be asked in advance as possibility matchings, some information based. I think somehow if you can get the time period, remaining all other things are related to that only, and we are able to manage here. Okay, I'll proceed to now. Similarly, if an electron makes a transition, if an hydrogen atom, if it makes a transition, so it is there in the select some n equal to 3, n equal to, this is n equal to 3. When it makes a transition to n equal to 1, how do it will move? That it will jump. The photon in the energy diagram we just shown, it will make a transition, not directly. It has to what? It should revolve. So it is going to describe path like this. And I think this will the path of electron. I'll show it. This electron, what happen is going to revolve, and finally what happen? It will come and settle at n equal to 1. R1 is first Bohr orbit. R3 is second Bohr orbit. It will not make a transition directly. This is something very important. It will what happen? It will describe spiral path. Then it will get accommodated. When it is moving here, it will give out a photon. What time it will take? Fraction of time. In that fraction of time is asking. So now few things like angular momentum. What is the angular momentum? So we know angular momentum L3 should be equal to mvr, and this should be equal to nh by 2 pi. Angular momentum in nth Bohr orbit. So what is in the third orbit? It should be 3h by 2 pi. Finally, when it landed to the first orbit, this should be equal to how much? H by 2 pi. So is there any change in angular momentum? Yes, it is. T equal to 0, and it has took time delta t. So what is the change in angular momentum? Delta L. I'll take difference of this. This will be L3 minus L1. 3h by 2 pi minus h by 2 pi. H by pi. And it took some time, no? So therefore the average torque acting on the atom. Let me write all the things here only. H by 2 pi. What is the time it will take for this transition to occur? Delta t. Then what is the average time? So what is the average torque acting on the atom? Can we find out? I gave the time, and we know change in angular momentum. So average torque acting on atom, that should be equal to delta L by delta T. Delta T is what? I'll give it. And you know H and H value, substitute, you'll get the average torque. And these are the types of questions can be asked for you. So I think there's no other way. We have to just depend on this basic formula. and the photon what is given out will be due to this particular path. And this delta t will be of very small interval of time, 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 second, of order nanoseconds it will take, or 10 to the power of minus 12. In that interval of time, what all that energy given will be in the form of a photon. These are very good objective questions can be asked. Okay, let's get into the some typical problems here. A gas of hydrogen-like ion is prepared in such a way that ions are only in the ground state and the first excited state. In monochromatic light of wavelength 1 to 16 Armstrong is absorbed by the ions. The ions are lifted to higher excited states and emit radiation of 6 wavelengths, some higher and some lower than the incident wavelength. Find the principal quantum number of the excited states, identify nuclear charge on the ions, and calculate the values of maximum and minimum wavelength. No other information. Oh, some wait. There's a previous height JEE question you can select. So very good questions are there. Okay, no. Read the question. Draw the energy level diagram. Hydrogen like is telling. So is it hydrogen, helium, lithium? We don't know. Okay, let me get into the problem. So we don't know what is the type of atom it is. Okay, let's not bother. First we'll construct here. So 6 lines are emitted. Emits radiation of 6 lines. So what can be the transition? Some ions are in the ground state. Some are in first excited state. And when they absorb this particular incident photon, and they notice that the ions are lifted to higher excited states and emit radiation of 6 wavelengths. Now tell me, to get 6 wavelengths, what should be the highest state to which the ions can generate here? So I think 6 wavelength means, I think there's a formula, no? The state from which the transitions will occur, n into n minus 1 by 2. The number of lines, what is n? What is 6? Number of lines. This is number of lines, or better say number of lines, or say photons are that. Number of photons generated due to excitation. I think in chemistry books you call number of lines here because the line spectrum, no, nothing wrong. Okay, now what is number of photons generated due to 6 different photons are emitted. So this is the formula. Anybody value n?
4.
N equal to 4 I'm getting. Okay, no. So what is the highest state? It should be equal to 4. So from 4, I'll trace it out here. So this should be the lambda 4 1, lambda 4 2, lambda 4 3. Then lambda 3 2, 3 2, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, 3 3, lambda 31, and this is lambda 21. I think 6 wavelengths are possible. You check 6 red lines are there, simple. Who will absorb, who will make this transition 1216 hash is absorbed by the ions, and altogether I say that one, is it absorbed by the, and it's telling find the principal quantum of the excited state. Is asking the quantum number of excited state. First excitation, we know one ion is here, other ion is present here. The one which they say light of absorbed by the ion. So now what happen? We will absorb that 1216 Armstrong, so that what happen? We'll get this 6 photons. Is it from the ground state or is it from n equal to 2? Means atom present in at n equal to 2 will absorb this photon, or atom present in the ground state will absorb that photon. I think we have enough this formula. It makes a transition from where? Let's check it. I'm just going to make a guess of the thing here. What is the guess I'll make it? So let's assume that the atom which is there in the first excited state will absorb this photon and will jump from n equal to n equal to 4. Will it satisfy that condition? I'll check it here. So shall I proceed like this? Why not the atom in the ground state? I'm directly making a guess. This will be, what is the basic formula? We write it here. Energy is equal to RHC. So, or we write like this, no? RHC by Z square by N square. Or if you want to write 13.6 electron, it's left to you. Either this one. The generalized formula is there. So this RHC, we don't know value. And Z also, we don't know value. So there's everything. Z square RHC, I'll call some constant. You can give anything, so like a B sir confusion. You can write alpha. Because we don't know value of that has to be predicted. I'll write alpha. Again, B will come binding energy. Let me call that alpha. Okay, let me make the transition. So this En should be equal to Sc by lambda. Possible, check it. I'll give the mathematical proof here. Why to fight with. Okay, now let's come for this one. From where to where it will make a transition from n equal to 2 to n equal to 4. Not a photon. The atom will make a transition. After absorbing the photon, or how much photon? Now, what is lambda? Lambda is this one. Huh? Now write down the equation. You know n equal to 4. Directly you'll get the value of B. And what is B is equal? What is alpha is equal to RSC? And we know RSC value 13.6 electron volt directly. Then you'll get the expression for Z, that one. So this should be equal to, I'll write it now, Sc by lambda, the energy of incident photon. This should be equal to, shall we write B by 1 by 2 square minus 1 by 4 square. Bring everything in terms of this B, what you can, this alpha, what you can write it as RSC Z square. So solve this, you'll get alpha. From alpha, what will happen? You can bring the Z, that one. So from here, I'll get alpha. So what is Sc by lambda? So substitute all these things. Or say, I think instead of all this, Sir, why you are troubling us a lot? Okay, do one thing. Uh, in place of alpha, what you can write it as RHC square. Okay, we can save a lot of time. Huh? Again, this should be equal to SC by lambda RHC square. Okay, I'll prefer this one. HC will get cancelled. So 1 by lambda R Z square 1 by 4 minus 1 by 16. And what is lambda? Lambda is 1216 Armstrongs. Rydberg, that value is substituted. Solve for this, you'll get the Z value. Directly you'll end up with value of Z. Anybody?
2.
I think in exam say like you should be very careful about the calculations. Now you do one thing. An atom present in the ground state, let it absorb this radiation. And you do calculation. So nothing wrong, nothing wrong. Somebody is asking, okay, no. So there's a SC by lambda RHC Z square 1 by 1 square minus 1 by 4 square. Solve again. Lambda R Z square 1 minus 1 by 16. Check the value of Z. So what should be the value of Z? It should be integer. No? Either it should be 1, 2, 3 or 4. If you get some 2.3, not possible. So therefore that is discarded. Not possible. Check calculator with calculator. I think you'll not end up with integer. Nothing wrong. See, like in exam, directly go there, do calculation. The value of Z should be either 1, 2, 3, 4. I think more than that beyond we don't ask. Either 1, 2 or 3. Take it for granted. If it is something you get 1.2 or different, so then there is a problem with that. Then that is not possible. Okay, got this one? It's not like something to get answer you have to think. Possible or not, you check it. Okay, now we got the decode too. I think after getting this one, find the principal quantum number of the excited states. This one, find the principal of the excited state. I think n should be equal to 2 only. I made a guess, and what I made guess is correct. Now, what about this? Anyway, himself he said first excited state. No, find the principal of number of the excited states is telling. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the possible excited states are possible. 4, 3, 2, 1. 3 excited states are possible here. Then identify the nuclear charge on the ions. Z equal to 2. Calculate the values of the maximum and minimum wavelength. Which will be maximum? This will be maximum, no? Which will be minimum? Where the energy difference is least. I think this should be the minimum.
Opposite, sir.
Oh, so sorry, this will be minimum. Huh? This is minimum, this is maximum. The transition for which the energy is more, lambda will be minimum. The transition for which the energy is less, there should be the maximum. And once you know value of Z, then you can work out here. So this is also is very important. You should nothing wrong in thinking like this. In exam, if you are thinking like this, Z equal to 2, I think problem is over. If you do like this, Z not equal to 1, 2, 3, then this is ruled out. Then you have to search for other alternative. The longest lambda minimum will be 0.24 into 10 to the power of minus 7. It is like this. This much is there. 4.69. Check calculations. In exam, there won't be calculator. I think you must understand now. So best way is like practicing it. So now what happened, you are doing with calculator. In exams, calculator not be there. I think you should better to practice it. Value of H, you should remember up to 2 decimal places. C, R value up to 1 decimal place. This will be sufficient. Then very fast. And RHC, you know 13.6 electron volts. So you have to check it. What best I can use here. Different methods are there because we know lambda in Armstrong's SC value. So convert that into this SC by lambda. What happened? It should be there in electron volt. The electron volt get cancels here. So immediately you'll get answer very easily. So do make observation of all that calculations. Modern physics, one big trouble for you in exam is the calculations. Though you know concept, what happen in exams, they will trouble a lot. I'll read the next one. It is in ground state, hydrogen atom, and a photon is incident 975 Armstrongs. Then is asking what are the resulting number of longest, calculate the longest wavelength amongst them. N equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The electron is present here. A photon is incident on it. Or actually on an atom, it is. We should not show like this. A photon is incident. What is the wavelength of photon? 975 Armstrongs. It will get excited. It's saying it will absorb. It will get excited. How many different lines? Hydrogen atom. See, one atom possible? No, it should be hydrogen gas only. Though in question, if you get like this hydrogen atom, still what happens? You have to treat like as if like a gas, like in container, hydrogen gas is filled up, and I can I isolate one photon? Not possible, no. Radiation is doing radiation. So there I'm going to take a light of wavelength 975 electromagnetic wave of 975 Armstrongs. I'm going to pass through a container in which hydrogen gas is filled up. Then I'm going to see the radiation, not of one photon interacting with one atom. I think that is a totally not possible. There's, I think, nothing to do with here. So you have to stick on to the basic. First, what is that energy of photon? See, not only even for me also, if I get a question, I should do calculation. There's no other way. Now, what is the energy of incident photon? I'll straight away jump into the calculation part. 6.62 into 10 to the power of minus 34.
Directly 12,400 we can write now.
Or HC value?
12,431.
If he doesn't mention, check it. It's approximate, no? I think we have to be very, very alert. And we want everything in electron volt. The lambda is in Armstrongs, no? So after getting this answer, divided by electron, charge of electron. So this I'll multiply charge of electron. So our answers will come in electron volt. Now I can get into problem. No, so I am bringing this problem specifically to tell you that you can't write SC some value. If he mentions, you mention SC value. If he mentions like a 12,300, 12,340 sometimes, okay, take it that, what he mentioned. If he doesn't mention anything, you must substitute these values. Then you have to conclude here. Check, if you take 12,300, you will get different answer. Intentionally is asked here. If we mention some SC value, what values he mentioned, that you substitute. If it doesn't mention, you should substitute the original values of H and C and work out here. 12.5. I think you have some idea of 13.6 minus 3.4. I think the better, if you remember the energies, you'll be on safer side. You must practice this particular thing. Up to till 5 levels, if you remember, you are on safer side. Up to at least if you directly know this, otherwise you have to calculate in exam. You see that this is all about the very simplest things. If you know these values, directly put it. Now the atom is there, it will make a transition so that this much of energy difference will come. To which state it can jump. Anybody, n equal to 5 value? 0.53, no, it seems.
54.
0.54, no? Now, where do it will make a transition? Definitely open this particular will make a transition from this what? And in the in turn what happen? Will get a wavelength. So these are the wavelengths. Calculate the longest wavelength among them. This should be the longest. And this should be the shortest, that one. So here longest wavelength will be lambda 43. It's very simple, no? So I think the intentionally what happened, you write some value, what in some books they give 12,000, sometimes they'll give 12,300, some books they give 12,340. So students are assuming that and they're getting disturbed here. One 18807 Armstrongs. Check calculations later on. I'll go to the next part. There's a very best question. A very nice concept is involved. Please first do read. Photoelectrons are emitted when 400 nanometer radiation is incident on a surface of work function 1.9 electron volt. These photoelectrons pass through a region containing alpha particle. Very best problem, no? is combining multiple ideas here. There is some wavelength is incident, lambda, so you can say lambda 400 nanometer. This having a work function phi. Photoelectrons will be ejected. We know these photoelectrons, ejected photoelectrons, they are made to pass through a region where alpha particle is present. Let me just take only one photoelectron. This will have maximum kinetic energy, and there's an alpha particle which is at rest. So what is Kmax? Kmax, he has given some H here. H equal to 4.14. So first we'll calculate Kmax from photoelectric effect. There is some Very difficult to imagine, better draw a diagram. That's what I feel. Even here also you can bring the diagram. And this is that helium, or sorry, alpha particle. Afterwards it'll become helium. No? So alpha particle. Kmax should be equal to Sc by lambda minus work function. 6.624 into 10 to power of minus 34, 3 into 10 to power of 8, lambda 400 into 10 to power of minus 9. Solving this, I'll end up with electron volt. This will come in joule. Then I'll divide charge of electron, I'll get the electron volt. Or H value can directly substitute because electron is telling no. If you substitute this H, then no need of that dividing that one. It's left to you. So again, I have to adjust thing called that one. Just I calculated joule, then divide by charge of electron, then I'll get the kinetic engine 3.1 electron volt. You'll get same answer, nothing. Okay, I got this particular thing. Now this particular kinetic energy of photoelectron, let me call K. Now, O will capture alpha particle. Alpha particle, when it captures, it will become helium plus, it will become atom. It will become atom. And the meanwhile, it will give out one photon. Lambda dash, you call it. Fine. So this much is there. Helium again, where a maximum energy electron combines with an alpha particle to form helium ion, emitting a single photon in this process. Helium ions thus formed are in their fourth excited state. They're not in ground state. Fourth excited state. Fourth excited state means n equal to phi. Helium atom is formed where helium plus in n equal to phi. If you know the energy of helium atom in the n equal to phi, no need to calculate straight away. You can make this problem very easier. What is energy equation? You're going to write it. Overall energy should be conserved. And initially far away, no alpha particle, no interaction potential. So therefore the energy equation will be kinetic energy of incident photon, EK, or incident photoelectron. This should be equal to, and what is the kinetic energy of alpha particle? Alpha particle at rest, nothing is there. Then it will form helium atom where E phi, I'll write it. Helium atom, helium, so helium plus energy of the photon, Sc by lambda dash. Okay, do we know EK? Yes, we know this one. So we'll get the H. From that, what pen we'll get this lambda dash. Find the energies of photons lying in the 2 for that are likely to be emitted during and after the combination. During means when helium atom is being formed, a photon, this will be emitted. And it is n equal to fifth state, again to come to the ground state. So what it will do? It will give out photons, no? What are the photons? Lambda, phi 1, lambda, phi 2. I think so many are there. I think I have to draw plenty here. I have to write plenty. This lambda is what? Lambda, again, symbol will be there. Not one lambda, plenty of photons, I'll write. N equal to phi, how much will be? Phi into phi minus 1. Anybody? How many lines? 10 lines. 10 photons. 10 photons of different wavelength. please try to imagine. So this what happens here. This is during emitted photon during, I'll write clearly things. During helium plus is formed. What about this? 10 photons of different wavelength emitted after helium plus after and during. I think, is it okay? No, no is so something. Let's calculate. We don't know lambda dash. No, it lies between 2 electron volt and 4. We don't know. We should calculate that. Now, what is the energy of helium in the nth orbit? Z square R H C. I think you can directly. No need to. If you forgot, this is 3.1 electron volt. R 13.6.
1.2, sir.
Which one?
EK, kinetic.
Oh, finally. This is the HC by lambda. No, sorry. This one will be. Yeah. This will be how much?
1.2.
And this is equal to 3.1 electron volt. Okay, that one. I think SC by lambda is what I wrote. This should be equal to how much? 3.1 electron volt. K max or EK is equal to SC by lambda minus work function. This should be equal to how much? 1.2. Okay, no, get into. So this will be 1.2. So some corrections I made. This one, 13.6 electron volt. Now what you are going to write, negative or positive? This should be negative. I think this sign is very important. Z square by n square plus SC by lambda dash. I think better to write. So what to do here? HC or this shall we write energy of photon? No need of lambda. E lambda dash. Everything will come in electron volt. We can compare. What should be the value of Z? Helium 2. What should be the value of N? 5. Substitute, you'll get E lambda dash. Three point 376 electron volt. No. After this, again, you have to check is there any photons which will lie in this region because it undergo de-excitation. For that, there's no other way. If you have the energy level diagram of helium plus, then you can manage here. So which number of photons, how many photons that will lie in this region of 2 electron volt to 4 electron volt. So 3.376, I think we can take it, no? This is emitted during, then after, again you have to check it. Any photons will lie in this one. So for that, what you should do, you should draw an energy level diagram. Lambda 5,4, then lambda 4,1, lambda 4,2, lambda 3,1, Next after this, it will be lambda 32, lambda 21. 10 photons are there whose energy will lie. I think rather than don't calculate lambda. Just I want to so just get the energy levels of all this. So I again directly use this formula. How to get the energy? That one. En is equal to minus 13.6 electron volt Z square by n square. And the exam, if you remember these values, you'll be in better position. The difference of energy where that will lie between 2 electron volt and 4 electron volt. EK how much? 3.1, huh? 3.1 minus. Okay, this one 3.11 minus how much is 1.9. That is correct. I wrote that one only. 1.12 electron volt. Okay, somebody. Yeah, I didn't check it. Yeah. You have to work out further. I'm just leaving it here only. Okay, I'll come to the some collisions one. Still many are there. Take the question now. A moving hydrogen atom makes head-on perfectly inelastic collision with a stationary lithium double plus ion. Before collision, hydrogen atom and lithium double plus ion are both in their first excited state. What is the velocity of the moving hydrogen atom? If after collision, hydrogen is found in its ground state and lithium double plus ion in its second excited state. Mass of lithium 7 mH and mass of hydrogen also we know. So with that, we should be able to predict the initial velocity of the incident hydrogen atom. Head-on is telling, I think somewhere he is saying, makes a head-on. How to write this equation? How you generate? I discussed actually the minimum kinetic energy. Will you apply that here? Yesterday we discussed some minimum kinetic energy, that one. So can we apply here? So I'll just proceed in a very systematic way. You can see now. So this is the. So initially what happened is hydrogen. So let me write mh. This is in excited state. It is moving with a velocity u. Lithium ml only, I'll write it. And this also in, both are in first excited state and this is at rest. After collision, the hydrogen atom is found to be in ground state, whereas this will get excited. Are both in their first excited state. Lithium ion in its second excited state. So shall I put n equal to 3? If I write minimum velocity, shall we do like this? Minimum velocity of the moving hydrogen atom. For any velocity, no. There's some velocity less than that, not possible. So what should I do now? Any other velocity possible. Hydrogen atom can come to ground state and they will move with a different velocity. So therefore, though it didn't mention, think for minimum velocity only. Straight away, can we use that formula? Like yesterday we did, no? The kinetic energy of incident particle is equal to excitation energy plus 1 plus mass of incident particle plus mass of target. What is the excitation energy altogether? There's a one method. I'll keep this aside. Sometimes what happen, they may not ask you that minimum. So every time you cannot use. So when to use this one? When it says minimum, anyway, like it said only velocity. So still can I use? Yes, you can apply, no problem here. Sometimes intentionally will say that after collision what happens, they don't move combinedly. Then you cannot use this formula. Because when the incident kinetic energy is minimum, what will happen? Then it will be perfect inelastic collision occur. When the incident kinetic energy is greater than K minimum, then inelastic collision will occur here. Okay, fine. This one. So directly you have to calculate delta E. That's all. Or else another approach. There's another approach. So what is the energy here? Energy in the second excited state. So for hydrogen, there's a hydrogen atom. E naught, I'll call it. Energy in the first excited state plus kinetic energy of the this one, mh u square by 2. Now what is the energy of this? I think hydrogen 1, I'll write it, n equal to EH2, I'll write it. Lithium, energy in the first excited state, and it is at rest, no? Equal to, finally, the hydrogen atom is having in the ground state, how much? Minus 13.6 electron volt, plus it's having kinetic energy, mh v square by 2, ml, or together, we'll write it here. Then applying conservation of linear momentum, mhu equal to mh plus ml into v. Substitute all this energy of the hydrogen in the first excited state, you know value, that of this. Substitute the specific values and solve it, you'll get the required answer. If you're unable to exactly make a guess of delta E, I think that negative sign you have to take care here. And mass of hydrogen, mass of lithium double plus is 7 times of that. So you can replace mh and ml here. So solve this, we'll get around 3.9 into. Sir, if it says minimum also, shall I use this formula? Yes, this is a generalized one. Now, if it is the incident particle hydrogen, if it is coming with energy greater than K minimum, can I use this formula? Yes, you can use. In that case, you show different velocities for hydrogen and lithium. But this is applicable when? Only when the incident particle comes with minimum kinetic energy. I just wanted to introduce you both the ideas. This is strictly applicable for when it is incident at minimum kinetic energy. This method is applicable for generalized case. Let water be that. Since you didn't mention, I'm going for minimum because I should search for minimum. What is the minimum possible velocity? So both are applicable now. I'm making things clear. Please, there's a generalized idea. You can apply for any situation. This is only strict when incident particle comes with minimum kinetic energy. Now only add-on. Sir, is it always the collision is add-on in subatomic particles? No, it can be. So let me introduce to collision here. A neutron strikes a hydrogen atom, which is initially at rest and free to move. Read question once and draw the diagram so that it will be easy for you to write the possible equations. So I'll take the neutron. This is a neutron. It is incident with a kinetic energy K naught. Let me take it. And hydrogen atom. This is at rest. After collision, making angle 30-degree angle with the initial velocity direction of neutron. Both will get deflected. Hydrogen atom. This hydrogen atom, this is a neutron. So let me take this is the KH, and this is a neutron, Kn, and this angle deflection is telling. And what is the state of this? The hydrogen atom is found to get excited to first excited state. Here it was in ground state. This will come to n equal to 2. Is it justified writing there n equal to 1, n equal to 2? How to manage this equation now? Energy is conserved. So I think the approach what we earlier developed now, that will going to help us a lot. So what is the equation now? K naught plus the energy of the hydrogen atom in the ground state plus what is the kinetic energy of the hydrogen atom? 0. It was at rest, is equal to finally hydrogen atom is having kinetic energy plus energy of hydrogen atom in the first excited state plus kinetic energy of neutron. Total energy is conserved, not kinetic energy. What is this? EH1. What EH1 you can write it? We is asking to get that K naught. We don't know KH, K no. These are unknown things. How to bring? I'll apply conservation of linear momentum. Can we apply? Yes, very much. Momentum is conserved. I think the entire modern physics, energy is conserved, momentum is conserved. Any numerical. What is energy? Total energy, not kinetic energy. So then writing the conservation of momentum, 2mn k naught is equal to 2mh kh cos 30. Now look at that mass of hydrogen and neutron. Assume mass of neutron and that of hydrogen are same. No? So what you can expect, kh equal to kn. No need to solve, and I'll just show it. This is along x-axis. Along y-axis, initially it's 0. So this shows that mh equal to mn. So kh equal to kn in fact. From this, substituting directly we'll get the k naught here. Okay, now is it, what are the permitted values of this kinetic energy of the neutron? Is it for all permitted values or only specific values are permitted? The best question is what I'm asking now. Is this neutron, is it permitted to possess all the possible values of kinetic energy or only specific? What you say? Only specific values, sir. Sir, how do you can see? Instead hydrogen atom, if it get excited to first excited state, let it get excited to n equal to 3. I think you're going to write EH3. You're going to write EH3. In that case, what happens? The K naught will take other value. So what are the permitted values of neutron so that the hydrogen atom get excited? Means you keep on writing n equal to 3, n equal to 4. But these two are unknown, no? What to do? I think conservation of momentum here. This may not be needed. KH equal to Kn is what I shown here. Substituting this here, we'll get relation between K naught and KH. Solving these two equations, we'll get K naught. Now, is it all values are permitted for incident neutron? I am asking one best question. No. It all depends upon to what state this hydrogen gets excited. If it gets excited to n equal to 3, then one value is permitted. N equal to 4, one value is permitted. Now, all the energies are not permitted. In this case, what is the minimum energy needed to excite hydrogen atom? Put EH2. If the neutron comes with energy less than that, then hydrogen atom will not get excited. Okay, maybe that collision will occur. It will become elastic collision. Sorry, is it elastic or inelastic collision? Definitely inelastic, because this hydrogen atom should get excited. No, some energy is needed, and who should supply? This one only. So what is this nature of collision? Inelastic. Then if it comes with energy such that hydrogen atom will not get excited, then that case what happens? No loss in kinetic energy. they'll become elastic. So whether means now a very strange behavior here. If I send the neutron with a kinetic energy here, it'll go and collide. Both are having same mass, no? Such a collision may not occur. Head-on may occur. Previous problem. Head-on may occur. Then some neutrons or go and collide like this, two dimension will occur. Sir, how it is possible? There should be some certain rule. The science, what it says, it depends upon the situation. Which particular hydrogen atom, where the two dimension will occur, where the add-on will occur, we don't know. What about, sir, quantum mechanics? Can we answer to some extent? So we can't predict the exact behavior of nature. That's what the science is concluding now. But there must be some law governing it. Yes, there must be some law governing it. Means definitely the interaction between neutron where add-on occurs, the interaction between the neutron and hydrogen where add-on occurs, the interaction between neutron and hydrogen where the two dimension occurs, there must be that interaction must be different. And why that difference in interaction occurs? Both are hydrogen, both are neutron. Yes, we have to go further deep, more into the subatomic particles. We don't know much further inside the nucleus. Again, the neutron, we are thinking that it's a fundamental. It's not a fundamental. Again, the inside neutron, we have to go it. We don't know that. But time being, as neutron, we say, is further inside the neutron, again made up of further particles. So during collision, how do they behave and what makes them to go undergo add-on two dimension? That will determine. The science, even now, we are not at the stage where we can predict why it undergoes particular thing. Just it undergoes, okay, we are noticing, practically we are noticing and we are concluding, that's all. Getting the idea? This is like, so students often get confused. Sir, how do I come to know add-on? In exam, you should mention. Or you should create in the question that information should be reflected what type of collision occurs. Otherwise, nobody can make a guess. So all possible permitted values of kinetic energy for neutron so that hydrogen atom gets excited. No, only specific values. No, you put EH3, then the neutron will take one more value. So for all the incident, for all the values of kinetic energy, the neutron can excite hydrogen atom. The answer is no. Only some specific values are there. Even the neutron can deflect by 90 degrees. It's not only like this. After collision, there's a neutron. It comes with kinetic energy. And let me take this hydrogen. After collision, the neutron will get deflected. The hydrogen atom will move like this. It can be any of the state, highest states, and the neutron will be here, Kn, Kh, and it get deflected. It can happen like this also. Even there's also possibilities there. So how come it's the same thing? Here again, what are the equations you are going to write the similar way? Able to get this idea. So this can be n equal to 3. Then again write the equation. Then if I don't select it, it will just go to higher excited states. N greater than 1, I'll put it. Then possible values of incident kinetic energy of the neutron. Then what will happen? You should write equation. There the energy of hydrogen, you have to write it. So I'll write this one so that will be easy for you. K naught plus EH1, it is at rest. Kn plus Kh and energy of hydrogen in higher orbit. We'll write P or say some alpha, I'll write it. What is alpha? Higher orbits here. Alpha will be greater than, where alpha equal to 2, 3, 4, 5. So E alpha, I'll write it. This is the energy equation. Then what about the momentum equation? The momentum equation will be 2mn k naught is equal to 2mh kh cos theta. Then along y-axis 2mn kn minus theta is unknown, s that can be eliminated. So depending upon this, so the neutron cannot take all the values. Only some specific values are permitted. What should be the minimum kinetic energy so that it should not get excited? In that case, what when the collisions will become elastic. So elastic, inelastic, what will happen? It all depends upon the condition. There's a one best way of asking question. Every student must put effort in understanding this collision idea, because the, what all we learned in mechanics, so that they're going to be implemented here. They may get deflected by this, or like this, or add on. Anything can happen. So very random way questions can be asked here. And you should not forget about this, writing this equation. Is based on what? Conservation of energy. Not conservation of kinetic energy. Good conceptual questions, anything they can stress you here. Okay, this three answer is 3 for this. Check it. I think few more questions are there. I think time. Okay, tomorrow we'll continue with this. Tomorrow I'll start the X-rays, because again you have to work out problem. Then I'll come back to atomic physics. Friday, Saturday. One day is sufficient. Tomorrow let me do X-rays here. Okay, thank you all of you. Okay, thank you all of you. Take care. Bye. See you.